The more and more I play this game, the less enthused I get to be about it. I don't know. I was so excited when I first picked it up because it seemed totally my jam. The art style, the splatformer slash masocore action that I've not experienced in quite a while. It's a genre I like, but it's a genre that I rarely play. And just the fact that it looked to be a more open game than those games usually are, it all had me excited. Perhaps a bit too much so. I built the game up a little bit too much in my mind, and so it naturally failed to meet those expectations. That said, even discounting that, this game does have legitimate issues as I've gone over, and as I'll continue to go over. Before I actually ascend the wall here, I realized there were breakable blocks over here that I never did anything with. Interesting, so there are actual 3 pathways. So I could ascend the wall, or I could head up towards the retrograde, and see wherever that leads. Well, I said last time I would be ascending the Wall of Sorrow, so that's what I'll be doing here. I'm actually especially intrigued by it because it looks to be a vertically designed level, and I love vertical levels in video games. If there is anything that can rekindle my love for this game, it would be a vertical base level design. So let's see if it manages that. Starting off fairly tepid, but then again, it's backwards in difficulty compared to what I just did. It's probably more competitive with the Hollow than Golgotha, so I imagine I shouldn't have too much trouble here. Cue me saying that and then end up spending like an hour here regardless. Now, can I actually make it back there? I'm honestly not sure if this is going to be possible. I think I had to avoid breaking one of those blocks, yeah. I'm going to need to keep that second one, I think, the one in the middle, if I want to jump back here. Moment I'm just waiting for the platforms. That's a thing this game makes you do a lot, and I really wish it didn't, is just wait for things to occur. It is what it is, though. Almost, I just need to be a little bit more precise. That's probably the most frustrating thing about this game, when you almost have something, but you just barely miss it by like a single pixel or 2. That's always incredibly disappointing for reasons that should be pretty obvious. I should be done with this screen right now then, assuming I don't cock this up. And of course I did. Spikes, you are my ever-eternal enemy in this game, and all games really. I wonder what first video game featured spikes as an insta-kill obstacle. I want to know so that way when we invent time travel, I can travel back into the past and murder whoever designed that game, so that that never occurs. More valuable than murdering Hitler, that. Alright. Again, this has a very tepid pace to the level design. None of that hurried shit that Golgotha had, which is a nice change of pace. I'm actually not entirely sure how I'm supposed to progress here. Oh, nope, I see. I missed it for a second. But another second's examination made it clear. I think I've mentioned this before, but I do wish they made the spikes stand out a little bit more. In a lot of cases, they just come off as, at a glance, as just a part of like a cliff wall, rather than an obstacle you need to avoid. Rather than just being formless projections out of these moving platforms, they should have some extra definition to them, I think. That would make them easy to spot at a glance, and it would result in less deaths like that one I just had there, where I ended up running into spikes because I kind of didn't even realize that they were there. So, I guess I should start talking about one of the other issues I have with this game. So, I've mentioned before that the Steam page claims that it has 600 plus levels, and I believe them. And that's kind of the issue. This game has too much content so far. Like, think about the actual game mechanics that they've introduced. The big ones. In World 1 it was just, you know, standardization of like jumping and stuff, nothing major. World 2 had a bit more platforming and bouncing off of enemies and stuff like that. World 3 had environmental hazards with the water and acid clouds and a bit more of platforming off of enemies. And then we get to the split where you either go to the hollow, which is about descending and using momentum, or the wall here, which seems to be more about, I guess, just like scaling your way up. There's not really any like major mechanics here so far, but there's time for that to be introduced. My point is that they used... Ooh, I should have seen if this was safe. I don't know if it is. Alright, well, I made it regardless. What about that exit down there? Is that going to be a secret? It might be. I'm not sure if I can make it to there, though, if that would even be possible. Let me just try that before I move on. But basically, my whole point is that they took... Let me just look at the map screen so I can see it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 worlds to introduce what is basically a handful of mechanics. Not only do you not need to stretch content that thin, but you really shouldn't, because that ends up just adding a lot of what feels like padding or filler to your game, and it just ends up exhausting the player, and I think that's why I've been getting exhausted with the game. It's just taken way too long to introduce basic gameplay mechanics. Like, that's stuff that they all could have done within one world. By getting rid of like a lot of the repeats that they did. Like World 1, you could have had that be 5 brutally hard stages that you just go through in, say, maybe, you know, like half an hour, rather than the 20 stages that it took me like an hour to go through and comb my way through all the secrets, and similarly reduce the number of tumors that are there. Speaking of tumors, I missed one. That's my bad. I have to go back for it. But that just enunciates my point all the more. There's so many collectibles that you end up spending just a lot of time like going back through the stages, even when you're not encountering any new mechanics or anything that's actually novel or worth doing. It's just, I think I voiced this specific thought before, but there's a lot of busy work going on here, and it's very much to the game's detriment. It ends up making it something of a chore to play, to the point that don't be surprised if I don't exactly finish this game. If I get to a point where it seems like a decent ending point, even if there are stages beyond and like a true ending and stuff, I might just end it there. We'll see. Again, this stage might be able to rekindle my interest in the game. Depends on exactly what it ends up having overall. If it's just more of the same... well, you'll see. I haven't found any secrets here so far, although that's not too surprising. The Hollow didn't have as many as well. I think that actually might be why I enjoyed the Hollow a lot more than the other stages I've done so far. In addition to having the unique gimmick of the whole momentum building up and traveling ever downward. It was also overall a bit shorter, having 5 less stages and less secrets overall. And that made it less of a chore to do, and thus a lot more enjoyable. I am not a fan of these asshole ghosts. You really need to get in my way, dudes. I guess they just want me to join them. As ever though, speed helped. Alright, more cloud platforms. No obvious secrets. Tumor should be easy enough to collect. I guess this place's gimmick are these lowering clouds, but that's nothing I haven't seen in Golgotha already. Oh, they're actually introducing enemies that attack you more often in this path. That's actually pretty cool. I'm assuming because of their skull I can bounce off of them, but if I touch any other part of their person... what would you call a bird person? A corvin? I don't know. But if I touch any other part of their body, I'm probably gonna die, so I have to watch out for that. But I'm gonna need to manipulate them to make it over to that tumor. That much is clear. I think this might work. Hey, there you go. And I'm just gonna exit the screen so I don't have to repeat that. Like, this gimmick actually is fairly fun. Manipulating an enemy like I did in Golgotha, but this time due more to my direct advantage by using it as a platform. That's actually more interesting than anything that they did in Golgotha. I'll say that right now. I'm gonna need to use these guys to reach that tumor. I might just be able to let the cloud platform sink. The issue is it sinks at a slow enough rate that with them attacking me, that might be more trouble than it's worth. The issue is that manipulating them to be in just the right spot to reach that tumor isn't going to be easy either. Really, it's just a situation of pick your poison here. Which pain in the ass way do you want to try to complete this level? Option A or option B? Okay, so let's try starting from the top of the screen. I think that might make this a little bit easier, assuming I can get over to this cloud, and yeah, that's easy enough. Well, I can even do so without aggroing the one bird. So yeah, that was definitely the secret to this. Then just save that tumor, and I gotta give it one more go. And then I can say goodbye to this screen for eternity. Actually, that's not quite true. I'll probably have to come back and do it when searching for secrets. Since they don't let you travel to specific stages, that seems to be a huge flaw. Maybe I'll get the ability to do so at some point. That'll be the game telling me, yeah, now's when you're gonna want to do your major backtracking, but I get the feeling that it won't give me that kindness. I'll see soon enough. Alright, now that is obviously a secret. Not a very well hidden one, but a well guarded one. Especially with the Corvid constantly coming after me. It's difficult to make a precise jump like that one. But I gotta do it. I gotta get those secrets. Alright, ooh, cartridge, perfect. Oh, hey. I didn't know it was you. You realize we're being punished, right? We did something wrong at some point. Something we can't undo. And this is our eternity. He's going to betray you, you know. He always does. Alright, well, you can be a dour Donald, for all I care. I have video games to comfort me. That was a really easy secret. That is one of the weird things of the design of this game that I've noted before. The secrets, even though they have secret things, the major collectibles, are far and away the easiest parts of this game. It's the regular stages that end up having the most trouble, or just picking up one of the regular old tumors. I'm actually kind of stumped here. How am I supposed to make it out of here? Do I just go forward full blast? Because I'm worried if I do that I'll end up jumping off, but it wasn't difficult to get up to this point, so I suppose it's worth a look-see. Yeah, I don't think leaping from the ledge is going to do it. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything that would make this easier, yeah. Oh, okay. I assumed that would be death, but nope. Oh god, I'm having to do this screen again. Much earlier than I anticipated, That's the game punishing me for talking smack about it. Alright, made it back here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to avoid angering the Corvid on this screen. Maybe if I just stay up— no, okay. He wants my business and he's not gonna take no for an answer. I'm just gonna have to deal with that. Oh, I actually managed to survive but not actually grab the tumor. That is just my luck. Okay, let's see if there's another secret here then. I'm not gonna bother going down. Because there's those conspicuous hooks on the wall on the upper left that might lead to another secret. That'd be a cool thing, having multiple secrets that you can get to from one screen. I don't think they've done that since, what, World 1? But again, that's kind of what I mean by them drip-feeding new mechanics, or reusing old mechanics in this case. I haven't seen this since World 1, and it's like, why hasn't that shown up before? It's that kind of more open stuff that should be like the selling point, the focus of this game, but it just isn't. Oh, I ideally wish McMillan was a better video game designer. I so want to love his games, but so often they just have so many failings. It really seems like he just got lightning in a bottle with Meat Boy and Isaac. Lightning that was probably mostly the result of other people's hard work rather than his own. But he of course gets all the credit because he's the main dude in charge, and naturally we tend to forget that video games are more collaborative efforts than single-man projects. Single-man developed games, excepting of course. But we end up attributing all of the hard work done by multiple people to make those excellent games on him. And it results in especially high expectations for any of his projects, which won't always be met if, say, he's the main person working on them and doesn't have extra help, which I think is the case here. I knew there'd be a secret up here, and I actually got here accidentally. Thank you, Corvid friends. Wait, how did that kill me? I was landing squarely on top of him. That's a little bit suspect. Ooh, it's going on for longer than I thought. At least one more screen since there's no collectible here. Alright. What? Oh. Of course I fail in the most pathetic way possible, just falling off the ledge like a complete tool. That is my fate. I don't know how I somehow managed to angle the Corvid perfectly last time. Now I'm not having such hot luck. The game gave me an easy chance, and I just forsook it. Holy crap, I can't believe I made it. And wow, they put a collectible right here. Right? That's a tumor? Or is that an obstacle? I'm trying to touch it, and it does seem to be the end of the area. Yeah, that's the mega tumor. However, there's clearly more to this screen. It's just an NPC, and I'm assuming that's not important, but the game's challenging me. It gave me the proverbial slap across the face, and I cannot overlook this challenge. So, time to spend the next 20 minutes here. Okay, or not. I was trying to figure out how to platform my way across. I think maybe with the right timing, I could have smoothly hopped from one to the other. They were in such an orderly formation that I feel like that was the intention, but I accidentally ended up crashing into the exit instead, so I'll leave that for now. Hopefully that's not something important. Oh wow, it's a pretty late mega tumor, so I've missed most of them. Hopefully I'll find the remaining one though. Alright, here we have platforms that rise up. Again, mechanics that take way too long to be introduced. I want to be the guy the classic Masocore game introduced objects that moved up and down within the first screen. This game took like 6 hours to do it. 3 hours in normal, non-me people time. Because I'm taking like double the length that it's probably expected due to my incompetency. So picking up the tumor wasn't all that bad. Actually escaping out of here though might be the tricky part. Especially with me constantly jumping into the Corvids. Okay, that actually wasn't so bad. Alright, I just had to check that out. Let's see... That's gonna rise up, isn't it? Oh, this rises up too. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that. Nope. Ah, poison gas. It blends in so well with the non-poisonous backgrounds that I didn't even realize that was a thing. Alright, not so bad. Yeah, I want to grab onto the other side, and then once more... Oh, and of course I failed to stick the landing. Alright, not so bad. Didn't take too many attempts. Let's see... Okay, tumor picked up. Let's just save that progress so I don't have to do that rigmarole again. I do have to get back to this upper screen, but that's not such a big deal. I say right before I spend another 20 minutes here attempting to do this, is how it's looking to turn out. Seriously, there really should be a mechanic to make grabbing ledges in the middle of a descent, or just near spikes in general, more easy. It's not really fulfilling to have to wrangle with that in a lot of instances. It's difficult, but it's the bad kind of difficulty. That's something a lot of people seem to have trouble passing. They just see something as difficult and immediately think, oh, okay, that's fine. That's how the designer intended, and it's like, no, you can judge difficulty on whether it's good or bad or not. And that's kind of important. Alright, making it up here wasn't too big of a deal, as it turns out. Oh boy, more toxic gas. That is exactly what I needed in my life. And perhaps a possible secret. Don't think I don't see that wall hook. Hey, booyah. Oh, and right into the acid. I don't see a collectible on this screen unless it's just this giant wad. Oh well, that was a huge mega tumor, damn. How many tumors you been snacking on, boy? Yeah, I'm not a fan of dealing with these clouds in tandem with the toxic gas. I'm not gonna call it bad, just not my cup of tea. How do I make it over to that tumor? I'm actually quite stumped. Maybe I'll have to come from the upper screen? Ooh, that actually might be the case. Indeed it is, fantastic. The game needs to be doing more of stuff like this. See if I can grab this screen's tumor as well, that'll make things a little bit easier. Yep. 2 tumors in one go, that's pretty good. Alright, so it's just a matter of triggering these and quickly making my way across. Sadly, I was not quite quick enough there. I gotta do it before it ascends too high, but then there's the added wrinkle of, again, the toxic clouds, which if I stay in too long are gonna screw me over. Ooh, that's actually really cool. It's not just a matter of rewarding you, but having that droppy there actually makes making it through that room more difficult as well. I actually appreciate that design a little bit. It serves 2 purposes, and I like that even if it is kind of annoying at the same time. Basically, depending on how badly you fail this challenge, you end up having to do 2 screens over instead of 1. And while I don't necessarily always agree with the design philosophy of punishing the player for screwing up, I can appreciate it. Okay, that was a close one. But I made it, and this appears to be the end of this great wall of sorrow, I mean. I'm actually surprised it's not called the Wall of Jericho. Completely meaningless Bible references are sort of Macmillan's thing. But it seems I picked up everything towards the end of the stage. I got the final 2 mega tumors, the cartridge, and all of the regular tumors, so the only things I've missed are early on in the world, thankfully. I guess it's just time to drop down, I was gonna say, but no. Instead, I'm going to ascend to the SS Exodus. Interesting. I'm not sure what I was expecting ascending up, perhaps some sort of heavenly themed area? I wasn't expecting a steampunk airship, okay. So visually this area looks to be exciting. Hopefully it won't be a disappointment gameplay wise like Golgotha was. Come on Macmillan, give me a fun time with your game and not just a hard time.